WASU, and welcome to WASU Wisdom for Living. My name is Wayne Sutphin, and I'm your WASU guru. Well, on today's wisdom presentation, I would like to talk about time, past, present, and future, and give you a little insight on how philosophically the WASU principles of philosophy deal with time. Just a quick definition of what time is. Time, primarily, by I guess my definition, would be it's a way that man has come up with to measure the intervals and rates of change between different events, and also how to measure the rate and change in our material reality, also as with the passage of consciousness from one moment to another. Now, when we look at that whole thing in the respect in which man has used this to quantify certain things, we have to understand that that quantification, it just helps us be able to explain like one event to another event, or one happening to another happening. So with that said, again, um, the only thing that's actually real actually is our consciousness in that moment in which our consciousness exists. So for as an example, right now, my consciousness in this moment right now is what exists. The past is no longer real, and the future is not real yet. Now, that's not to say that the past, those moments in the past that were real at that specific moment in that specific time, they were real then. And the past is more or less like a dream. You have a dream, and when you're asleep, the dream happens, and you remember everything that happened in the dream, but when you wake up, the dream is no longer real. It's done and over. So the past, don't dwell in the past. The major premises in this video is to talk about living in the present and living in that present moment and getting the most out of that moment. Now, that's not to say that you should live moment to moment without planning for the future or remembering the past. It's saying that you should cherish those moments that you exist in at that time, because individuals that do live in the past, it's difficult for them to move on into the future. And individuals that are constantly planning for the future, they're not living in the present, so they're not being, I guess they're not getting the most out of those moments in which they should be happy and doing things at that on the present time, because they're so focused and focused on living in the future, or what you people are so to speak. Well, I have to get my retirement straight. I have to do this. I have to do that. Those are people living in the future. Now, that's not to say that you should not plan for to get your future in line, so that when you do arrive, that things are the way that you would like for them to be, or to the best of your ability, as far as like planning them to be, in the direction, or going in the direction you'd like it to be. Now, I do mention time being linear yet fluid, and when I speak on time being linear and fluid, linear makes it sound a little more rigid than what I guess time actually is. Uh, but it also specifies, when you say linear, that it has a direction in which it's going. So time is, for lack of better words, from man's standpoint, moving in a forward progression direction. So we'll leave it at that, in those terms of it being linear. It is fluid because it is still malleable. Like things that I do now, right in this moment, are still changing. The future is ever changing based on our choices here in the present. So that is how it is fluid. And if when we're able to time travel, some may time travel now through allowing their consciousness to move backward and forward I guess in a fluid situation or fluid way. I'm not aware of people that can do that, but I'm not going to negate things that I don't understand yet to not be possible. But if we were to go back into the past, into those moments, and if we were to go back into the past, at that time, those moments that we arrived at in the past, they would then become real. Same thing holds true with the future. If we were to go into the future, those moments then, when we're at the point in time that our consciousness is, and those moments in the future, they would then be real. So what we have going on, and which makes time fluid, is the fact that you have past, present, and future uh, going on. So it's basically three realities going on simultaneously. But to summarize and end this WASU wisdom presentation up, I would, like for people or our viewers to, live in the present, but remember and understand and learn from your past to create a more fruitful and harmonious and awesome future. So, when you are able to do that and uh, live in those moments, live in those present moments, but remembering what you need to do from those past moments to create a better future. That is what we, from a wisdom and from a wise standpoint, that's how you get the best out of this life. And with that said, Wasu, and remember to subscribe to the Wasu Wisdom for Living channel. And I'm Wayne Sutphin, and appreciate you checking us out. I'll see you on the next wisdom presentation.